Hi, and welcome to another episode of More to Media on Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Jeff Swartz, and I'm really excited about this next guest. I had the pleasure of listening to one of her keynotes about conflict resolution the other day, and I honestly said I have to have her on because there's a very particular story that I wanted to share with her. This is Dorothy Andreas. She is a serial entrepreneur, 9 businesses. One of the ones that she's most known for that we're going to talk about is Swiftly Spa, sorry, as well as a best-selling author and coach and for growth business. She is just a phenomenal person, phenomenal career. And thank you so much for Dorothy for being on here.
Thank you so much, Jeff. It's really my honor to be here with you today. I appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely. So your story is fascinating. We can spend a lot of time on it. You started your first business when you were 19, and that's kicked off your entrepreneurship career. But that story that I mentioned was really interesting. So Swiftly Spa fell on a little bit of a conflict kind of time, a hard time and everything. And how you got through that was really interesting. And I want to talk about both how you got through it as a business and a culture, but also how advertising and media helped you through it as well, too. Can you just set up what is the Swiftly Spa and what was going on at that time period?
Sure. The Swiftly Spa was an idea that I had back in the 80s. I opened another day spa in Regent Square, and I saw how much women really needed to come somewhere where they could put a robe and slippers on and be taken care of for the day. They weren't unloading a dishwasher or packing a lunch. So in 1997, I bought the building in Swiftly Spa. And, people would walk in and say, "What's a day spa?" There was no market for day spas at that time. People didn't even know what the term day spa meant. So I realized that I had to create a market for day spas. And the way to do that really was through advertising and through educational advertising, so that I sort of learned over the years, if people can't pronounce it or don't know what it is, they'll just ignore it. So by really educating the market on what happens when you come to a day spa, it made it comfortable for people to try something new. And then we grew to 3 locations, and it was fabulous. I have recently sold the company, and it's in great hands. The woman that bought it worked for me for 12 years, so she was intimately involved with all operations. And it was a wonderful journey for a few decades.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, it was well established as well, too. And then you got to this kind of rocky period for a moment and everything. So what was going on, for this moment in time where you had some internal conflict?
Yeah, it was, for anybody who owns a business, we run in cycles, and it's up and it's down. And when crazy external factors happen, we have to figure out how to get through it. So it was in the spa industry, it was an economic down. We were coming out of a really deep cut recession, economic downturn in the day spa industry, as well as it was a really ugly political cycle. And I saw a big divide in my company among my staff. People who were formerly like best friends and lunchroom buddies were now needing to be scheduled for breaks at opposite times because they couldn't get along. They just couldn't get along, and they were becoming enemies. So I had a cultural divide in my business, and then we have an economic downturn where, spending expendable dollars at a day spa where you come and put a robe and slippers on for the day just wasn't what people were thinking about. And I had to do some drastic things. So in my company, to change culture, I called a meeting, a half-day meeting, and had everybody come in, and you could just feel, you could cut the tension with a knife. The room was divided. The liberals were on this side, the conservatives were on this side, and I always have maintained a fairly neutral stance, and especially in front of my staff. So I realized that what we needed to do was getting back to how we admired each other. So I'll just quickly share this. I had each person write down 3 things they admired about their coworker. 3 things they admired. And after everybody did it, we took some time to do this. And then we took over an hour to share as each person went around the room and talked about what they admired about the people who they were no longer currently speaking to, really. And, halfway through that episode, everybody was just in tears. Everybody remembered that we're all just humans and we're all entitled to our own opinions. And that was a huge shift. The other thing that I did was, I had to make drastic cuts. I mean, cut the fat was my mantra for the year. I barely took a paycheck for the whole year. We cut everything. We cut everything we possibly could cut, but we decided there were a few key things we needed to keep in place that would keep us as a company strong and in the mindset of the community strong. So we kept our paid vacation, we kept full health benefits for the staff, and we kept our advertising budget in place. And what happened was, because this was an industry-wide serious downturn, the rest of the economy was really, rebounding okay from the 2008, 2009 recession, but the spa industry hit a major bump in 15 and 16. So what I realized was, anybody who isn't putting money in advertising is going to be forgotten about. And so we kept our presence of mind there. We stayed out there. We shortened the length of our TV commercials. We shortened the length, but we kept them out there. And we ramped up on our digital advertising because digital was, just really coming on strong at that time. And what happened was, when the recession it really happened like in December at the end of the year, my staff is back on track. And as people started, deciding to spend expendable dollars again, they thought of spa. They thought of Sewickley Spa. They thought of
because you were the only one out. Yeah, because you were the only one out in the market, and you were pushing it when nobody else was too. So you saw it as an opportunity. And and we're out of time already. I know that these things go so fast, but is it safe to say that you came out of that stronger than when you went into it? Right?
We had a 30% increase in sales as a result of that.
So, and that's why I felt like I had to share it with this audience. I so appreciate you coming on here, because it is a big component of both doing the cultural and internal business stuff while also staying present and top of mind into the community as well too. So it was such an awesome story that I'm so glad you got to share it here on More to Media. Thank you so much, Dorothy.
Thank you.
And no problem. And if you want to know more about Dorothy, if you want to read her books, they're awesome. If you want to take her class, just even learn more about her amazing career, we'll have all of her information at dailyadbrief.com. Thank you so much to my guest today, and thank you to you for watching it. We'll see you next time on More to Media.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.